Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about something pretty intense, a kind of divine performance review for leaders. Yeah, forget your typical quarterly reports. This is on a whole other level, an ultimate audit of power and just what you do with it.
So let's just start with a really big question, right? What happens when leaders fail? I mean, people have been asking this forever. And what's wild is that ancient texts, like from Ezekiel and Jeremiah, didn't just complain about it. No, they actually laid out a super systematic way to think about accountability.
Okay, so to really get what they were talking about, we need to dig into this core idea. Let's call it the divine audit.
And look, this is not about some angry god just zapping people from the sky. Not at all. It's way more like a detailed, almost legal investigation into how a leader is doing their job. Seriously, the original texts lay out specific charges, they present evidence, and they detail the consequences. It's like they're building an actual court case against the powerful.
All right, so the first charge in this whole audit, this is where it gets really interesting. Because it's not about what leaders did wrong. It's about what they didn't do right. You know, the sin of omission. Just pure, simple neglect.
And the language here, from the book of Ezekiel, wow, it is brutally direct. It talks about a leadership style that was just harsh. These shepherds, the leaders, they weren't helping the weak, they weren't healing the sick. Nope. Their whole game was cruelty and force.
And this right here, this is the key principle of the whole audit. The consequence is a perfect mirror of the action. You see that? They ruled with cruelty and force, so the response was just as harsh. They get kicked out of office and lose all their perks. Simple as that. What goes around comes around.
Okay, on to charge number 2. So if the first one was about what they didn't do, the sin of omission, this one is all about what they did, the sin of commission. We're talking about corrupt, selfish actions. Leaders looking out for number 1, no matter who it hurts.
This table here just lays it all out so clearly. Check out the pattern. On the one hand, you have the leaders who feed themselves instead of their people. And the divine response? Bam! I will feed them with judgment. See how it works? Their motivation is money, which is basically seen as proof of a corrupt heart. And the final outcome, the fruit of all this? The people are scattered and lost. And guess what? The leaders have to answer for every single one of them.
But this is where it gets really, really cool, especially if you're into language. The original Hebrew word used here is pakad. Now, that doesn't just mean to visit, like popping in for a chat. No way. It's actually a mathematical or accounting term. It means to inspect, to charge, to take inventory. So judgment here isn't some angry, emotional reaction. It's presented as a cold, hard, precise calculation.
So that's the whole point, right? It's this perfect mathematical reversal. The consequence is a direct reflection of the crime. The leaders scattered the flock, so the judgment is they get scattered. Stripped of their power, their protection, everything. It's like balancing a cosmic ledger. The equation has to be balanced. And all of this leads to one final powerful metaphor that just ties it all together beautifully. Leadership is like farming. And in farming, there's one rule you just can't escape, right? You always reap what you sow. So the source material breaks this down into 3 simple, inescapable principles. First, you've got the seed, a leader's actions, their words. They have to be pure. If you mix in self-interest, well, the whole crop is corrupt right from the get-go. Second, the harvest itself. It's mandatory. You just can't plant seeds of control and then be surprised when you don't get a harvest of liberty. It doesn't work that way. And third, this idea of the judicial match. A leader who is only in it for themselves, they've already gotten their reward. That self-service, that is the full payment.
And if you want to boil this whole entire audit down to a single sentence, this is it. It's a powerful one. The judgment isn't something that comes later. No, it's born at the exact same moment as the sin. It's the other half of the equation. It's perfect reflection, it's twin.
Which, of course, leaves us with a pretty provocative question, doesn't it? If this ancient idea is true, if judgment really is the twin of the sin, then what does that mean for today? It means we have to look at our leaders, not just by what they say they'll do, but by the actual seeds they are planting right now. So what actions are they sowing? And maybe more importantly, what does that tell us about the harvest that is inevitably on its way?